What is happening, Elevation Nation? Man, this is gonna be a good podcast conversation right here. We're throwing it back to the College Park days, but you know what? It's been a minute. JB, the founder of High Frequency Coffee, joins Elevation Nation. Man, JB, you've been up to a lot of cool stuff lately. What's going on?
It's been coffee day in, day out. Left the corporate world almost a year ago. We're coming up on it, but we're grinding every day, perfecting the recipe, new recipes, getting this cart going for catering events. It's been a grind, but living in Jersey City, loving every minute of it. So we're kicking it.
And JB, we're obviously going to get all into high frequency coffee, your story. But before we get into that, people are probably like, guys, what's his last name? You're just calling him JB. Can we talk a little bit about the fact that Parker and I, at least, don't know how to call you by your real name? You've just always been JB to us.
It's been I've been JB since I was like before I could remember. And I went to University of Maryland freshman year, walked into my dorm freshman year. I was like, "Hi, I'm John." I was like, "I'm going to switch things up." And one kid I went on like a trip with when I was like a young teen was like, "Oh, JB." I was like, "Well, there it goes." So every single person started calling me JB from there. Get into the workforce, and I go by John, and I've been John at work for years. And then once I left, it's straight back to JB. Like I'm just not a John. I'm not a Jonathan. One of those names is too many syllables, so you can't go strictly Jonathan. I don't think if you're a Jonathan out there, then no shade, but
Sam was throwing shade to me. We have show notes, and I didn't even write JB. I wrote Jonathan. And I'm like, now that Sam was saying before the podcast, he's like, wait, who's Jonathan again? I'm like, oh, wait, yeah, it's JB. Jonathan sounds so weird. But JB, man, we're pumped to welcome you to the nation. We start every episode off the exact same way. We got to hear your elevator pitch. Tell us a little bit more about yourself.
So grew up in Central Jersey, lived there my whole life, then moved to Maryland to go to college, University of Maryland, go Terps. Graduated there. I took a job at a college in London that on the day we were moving out of our dick house senior year, I got like a job offer in New York City, and I was like, fuck it, let's go to New York City. Moved to New York City, worked in finance at advertising companies for 8 years. Moved out to LA with my now wife. Lived in Santa Monica for a year, Venice for a year. Awesome times. Great place to live for 2 years and not much longer. Moved back to Jersey City. Started doing this coffee business full time, and now we're here.
That was obviously the abbreviated elevator version. We're about to dive in deeper to all of that. But JB, talk to us about those first couple years. You're working in finance. You went, and Parker and I talk about this all the time, we were in the top of the ladder. We were loving life, College Park, an incredible experience in our fraternity, some of the best memories I'll ever have. You think you're the shit, and then all of a sudden, the real world hits you. What was those first couple months and years like where you went from having fun, carefree, to I'm grinding 9 to probably longer than 5 in the finance world?
Yeah, it was humbling, to say the least. Like I didn't do all that good off rip. I struggled. I didn't get a lot of I don't know what's the word for it. I didn't understand a lot of like the norms in the business world. Like I'd get there a little early just to because I like being early to things, but I would leave at like 5 o'clock when like the hours were over and everyone was still working there. And like, I didn't get that. Like had to talk to people and start meetings. Like I didn't get the decorum off the jump. And that took a while because like, I'm really good at talking to people in like a social setting, but I struggle in like a business setting because I want to be myself. I don't want to give out too much about my life, but I want to. So that's always been tough for me is like who I am as a person versus who I am in the workplace. And I've never had an easy time with that. That's been a huge challenge for me. People I worked didn't know my life, didn't know what I like to do. I went by John. I was a different person. Like it really was a different persona. now that I'm doing something that like I'm driving, I'm in the captain's seat. Like I can be myself again. Like I'm on sales calls now, and I'm shooting the shit. Like I'm talking like I would talk to anybody else, and that part is makes it all the more rewarding and more fun. But those first few years, I struggled. I didn't know what I was doing. I was falling behind. I thought like, oh, I'll just figure it out like I did in school. Like I'll just coast through it and get promoted every few years and just ride the roller coaster. But I wasn't really going for it for a while.
You know what's crazy, and appreciate you sharing that, is that how many people you imagine like feel like they have to show up as a different person at work because they feel like they have to play into this character that is just like made up in their head. I got to act this way. I can't talk about certain passions that I have or have conversations. I have to, present a certain way. I have to wear certain clothing. It's really challenging. It's for Sam and myself, it was a big oh shit moment, like kick in the ass. One, because we wanted to do well, and secondly is because like I was with you. I felt like I couldn't be myself at work. And it sounds like through our conversations, JB, you had a moment where you were like, wait, I got to make a change. Talk us through what that oh shit moment was like for you.
I know you said oh shit or oh shit moment because they're kind of intercrossed here. But I was living in Venice working at my last job, and I was listening to the audiobook for Unreasonable Hospitality, Will Guidara, 11 Madison, like the best book ever for if you want to do anything, read that book. And I was listening to that book, and it was somewhere in the middle of the book, and he talks about what's your why? Because that's how you take that next step. That's how you make the leap. That's how you really start giving a shit. And I wrote that down on my phone. I think I could find the date, but I went into like a downward spiral after that. Asking everybody at work who I worked with, people I've worked with in the past who are on similar teams, similar roles. And I was like, what is your why? Like, what are you doing this for? What gets you up in the morning outside of the paycheck? Like, what's driving you? And I couldn't find my why. So and I've always found myself doing like passion projects on the side, traveling, hanging out with friends as like my why is like, if I don't work, I can't fund my personal life wise, which of those I had plenty. I had plenty of personal life wise, but the work life, I just assumed like the older generation, like you work a job for 50 years, you retire so you can afford to go on vacations and spend time with your family. And be miserable in your job from 9 to 5 and plus the commute. That's just the way it was 30 years ago, but today that's just not the case. So that was my turning moment. It was like, I don't know if I can keep doing this. I need to find something where a why exists. And whenever I do an event or someone drinks my coffee for the first time, like the smile on their face, the joy I see, that is such a beautiful why. It fires me up just thinking about it, talking about it. It really is the best feeling in the world. And I'm so grateful and lucky I get to like see it and have it on a frequent basis.
Finding your why, I think, is one of the hardest things to do as a young person. Especially young men, I think we jump into the why being money and providing for our families as, well, that has to be the why. That has to be number one above everything. And to be very transparent, I don't know if I have my why yet, JB. Parker and we've built this thing 5+ years. We're speaking to thousands and thousands of people this summer. I still don't actually know why I do it. I think deep down, it's because I don't want to be normal. I'm trying to find something to make me different, to make me feel special. But I don't know yet. And I think I'm okay not knowing my why yet. I'm okay, like, still exploring because I'm still building. Because I think the why changes. I mean, one small why for me, and I know Parker feels the same way, is we get to share the stories of people that probably aren't sharing their stories. Like, having you on the podcast is such a fun why for us because you're a buddy and we get to share the incredible things that you've been doing. And so that's certainly a why for me. But I want to talk, JB, about you had that oh shit moment. Was it from that moment forward after you read that book, Unreasonable Hospitality, that you then started writing blogs and filming cooking videos? Or were you already kind of doing that and you realized, I want to really go all in on this that's bringing me joy?
Yeah, that started right after college. I started doing the blogging, and I had a blast with that. Like I had so much fun with it, posting one blog a week, and kept through it. I mean, I'll post one blog a year on there still, just to sharpen the old knife. If that an idiom people use? No. There's
the
there's a
pencil
proper
if
one.
it's a blog, right?
Yeah. So I was doing that for a while, and that led to me taking a creative writing class in New York. It took me to working on writing exercises. So I tried. Like I was applying to copywriting jobs and script writing jobs. I was like, maybe this is my path. Maybe this is my why. Nothing ever came of it. I stayed with my job. And then during COVID, I had a friend in college, acquaintance, reach out and was like, do you have any ideas for video content? I work for a company that is like a TikTok competitor called Rizzle. And he was like, do you have any ideas? And I was like, I have one idea of like cooking with leftovers. So I filmed a pilot episode, got paid like per season to do like 10 episodes a season. And I had like a blast with it. Got to sharpen like my video editing skills, creative skills. So like that, to those days, like like the app shut down. So those failures kind of fed what I'm doing now at this point. Like I'm doing video content again. I'm blogging again. Like those skills came back around, even though at the time they were abject failures, failures at the time.
Were you referring to like? Were you going to the blogging and the video creation as like an outlet or a distraction, hoping to find your why because work wasn't going the way you thought it was?
Yeah, 100%. Like that was, I knew I was creative, but I had no outlet. I wasn't like an artistic person, so I needed an outlet. I did a podcast with Spectre, if you guys remember that too. We had we had like 10.
Yeah.
It got referenced in both of our wedding speeches. It's awful. Don't listen to it. Don't even look for it. But that's why I have this microphone. One quick story about that. We would drink during the podcast just to get it going, and there was one day, and I would do the editing. There was one day we filmed on like a Monday night. We got blasted. We woke up hungover, went to work, I listened to it back on the way to work. And I texted him like at 9 a.m. I was like, dude, we cannot post this. We have to stop. And it was just so inappropriate. We were slurring our words. It was disgrace. I was like, the tapes are somewhere. I'm scared to find them. But I told them that next morning, I was like, dude, we have to stop. But yeah, it was an escape. It was always just a way to get my creative side out because it wasn't happening in my workplace.
You realize you just set us up. This is going to be the perfect clip. You're going to need to find that video of you slurring your words.
I know. We're going to have to find it.
Nope.
And
It's got to be out. It's got to be out there.
We'll find it.
I think one thing I want to note is, first of all, you guys started it right around the same time we started Elevation Nation, I believe. I think you guys did it first, or we did it. I don't know.
Competitors, baby.
Yeah. And I was like, in my head, to be honest with you, you guys provided me a little fuel. I was like, we're totally going to outlast them. That was like literally a thing. And we have now, I mean, this is going to be like episode 490. So we've kept at it, which is crazy. I don't know what have happened if you guys might have lost your jobs like 3 or 4 or 5 years ago if you kept to the slurring of the words. But to the second point I wanted to make is, JB, like going to college with you and spend so much time with you then and, you know, seeing you through the years, it's like it makes so much sense to me that you're now in this position. Like, if I went back and I was like, if there's one person I could look at, or if I just looked at you and be like, where's he going to go? I just say no corporate. You are someone who is going to make a cool coffee product. You're someone who's going to bring good energy and good vibes to people. You're going to be yourself because that's where you bring most value to the world is your humor and your creativity and your fun and your playfulness. And so it's really cool that you're not only doing a coffee company, but it's all around high frequency and creating great vibes. Talk to us more about what that means to you.
Yeah, I appreciate those kind words because I always felt like an imposter in the workplace. I always felt like an imposter wearing like a button down and slacks. Like I'm a t-shirt and hoodie kind of guy. So you want to talk about like the high frequency part of it, or just like?
Yeah, tell us more about less about the coffee, but the idea of high frequency and why you decided that to be, I guess, the ethos around the brand.
Yeah, so I was going through troubles like everyone has, and an advisor of mine told me that focus on frequency levels because they will resonate throughout your day. So the example he gave me was when you go to a restaurant and the kitchen staff's in a good mood, your waiter's in a good mood, there's some vibey music playing, you're gonna enjoy the meal more, the food's gonna taste better, and you're gonna feel better afterwards as well. I just ate a banana, so it's regurgitating up right now. But the food's gonna feel better, food's gonna taste better, you're gonna feel better, and you're gonna walk home and be like, wow, I feel great. But if you go to a friend's house and they're kind of bickering and they're cooking for you and the vibes are a little off, the food's not going to taste as good, and you're going to walk out of there and be like, I kind of feel like shit, like my stomach hurts a little bit. So that's kind of the stuff that has like this high frequency level resonate. So first thing in the morning, don't doom scroll. Go get some nature. Go get some sunlight. That's going to stick with you the entire day, and you're going to be sitting on your couch in the evening and feel like, oh, that morning walk really carried me through the day. So it's all about subscribing to that lifestyle of positivity, good energy, because that sticks with you. And if you surround yourself with negativity and you're negative to yourself, like that's going to hold, and you're going to feel the downfall of that.
I mean, we're going down this rabbit hole for sure.
Oh yeah,
Parker and I we love energy. We certainly subscribe to that same concept, JB, that the energy that we feel around us truly does impact your heart, your soul, and your mind, right? And so we've read a handful of books. One of my favorites, more on the health side of energy and science side, called Good Energy, about actually the food, the chemicals, the materials around us and how that impacts our bodies. But I've read many Joe Dispenza books, if you've heard of him. Mm-hmm. A lot of these other books that get a little bit more woo-woo, but I don't even think they're woo-woo anymore. I feel like they're scientifically proven that you get to change the energy around you. Just because we can't see those vibrations with our naked eye doesn't mean that they're not impacting how we feel and who we are. And so I think as you have created your company around this higher frequency, it makes sense to me that people are greeted with a big JB smile when they're grabbing a coffee from you and you're striking up a conversation with them and you're talking, you're laughing, you're joking, because yes, you're serving incredible coffee that we're going to get into at the end of the day, but you're also serving a higher vibration, bringing people up to the level that I think you want to operate at and probably weren't able to for so many years. And so not only are you serving other people, you're able to serve yourself with that.
Yeah, absolutely. And like I always try to surround myself with people who like give a shit about something, because you could tell when they give a shit, there's positive energy coming from it. Like I love talking to people who care about something. I don't care what it is. It could be about farming or anything, hula hooping. I don't care. Like I just want to hear someone who gives a shit about something, and I love the energy that people feed off with that.
That's such a cool point. Like, if you're sitting at a bar, you're hanging out with someone. We're sick and tired of the normal. How's it going? How's the weather? Let's talk about that football game. No, let's talk about something that's cool and interesting to you. And like, I might not be interested in it beforehand, but if you bring like positivity and passion, you're going to draw me in. You could talk about almost anything, I feel like.
It reminds me of one of the best piece of advice I've ever received, which I tossed around the idea of putting this as my mental motto. But the best piece of work advice I've ever received was become deadly at a cocktail party. Be able to walk into a cocktail party, pick a subject with anyone, and be able to talk about it. In the same way, if you go into someone's office, you find a book on the shelf, you find a picture on a wall, and you immediately have that to talk about. So you don't need to go deep into everything, but you need to like dive in generally on any topic the person you're talking to wants to talk about, to make them feel comfortable and to have a better conversation too.
So JB, I got another question. We're talking mindset here. You're building a business now, right? The good thing about corporate is you got a paycheck coming in every couple weeks. You know what you have to do most of the time. You work your 9 to 5, maybe a little bit more, maybe a little bit less. You get the money, and you can spend your weekends how you want. You are now running a business, and this is your livelihood, right? You don't necessarily know where the next dollar is. But we're talking high frequency, and I think it's coming down to the agreement that it's a choice to lead with good energy and positive experiences. But we know that business isn't always positive. How do you bring yourself back when inevitably times do get a little bit challenging with you in the business?
The highs are really, really high. The lows are really, really low. And I get there. Like I'm trying to figure everything out, and I feel like I'm on an island with no path to the future. And it's hard to find my way out of it because like a lot of it overlaps with like personal life, and it overlaps with what's going on in the world. So there's a lot of, it feels like when it rains it pours, like things really do crumble. And those lows, like sometimes I can't snap out of it for a couple days, but like first of all, my wife Molly has been so unbelievably supportive. She's probably listening to this outside being like, that's me. So unbelievably supportive every step of the way, mentally, emotionally, physically, just being there for events, for when I need it, for ideas, for editing, for creative. She's been a godsend. I count my blessings every day. Could not have done this without her. Shout out Molly.
We love you, Molly. There you go.
So yeah,
Shout
would not be here without her. But it's a battle. Like you just got to roll with it. Roll with a smile. Just keep pushing. Because those bad days, like there was one bad day I had recently. I forget what happened. Probably nothing important. I went to drop off coffee somewhere, and as soon as I was like throwing it in the fridge, someone grabbed one and tasted it and like loved it. I was like, that's why I do it. Like the profit margin's like so tiny there, but like to see that smile, that really made my day. And it really just takes a little moment. So it's finding those little things throughout the day to keep you going. And like I said, like if you're having a bad day, go to the gym. Go get a walk in. We had a little 3:30 walk here today just to get through the evening. But it's a nonstop grind. It's a lot of it sucks, but it's really rewarding. And I'm really glad I'm doing it.
Isn't that what makes it great?
Yeah.
Like the hard stuff,
Yeah.
right? Sam, I know you agree with that. I mean, we've had a lot of hard times through the years. We had moments where we both thought we'd be done, right? And being done is simply not getting on another podcast. Or hard things come up between, I got to do this thing. You got to do that thing. This person canceled, our speaking event sucked, right? You face so many things along the way, but then when you hit that high, you're reminded that that's why you do it. And like, you have to remind yourself when things get really crappy that I'm chasing that thing again.
Yeah. And when those moments are high, I don't do this enough, but like write down what made you happy and like revisit it if you need to, or record yourself. Like there's a few videos I have of me just being so happy and like recording myself. Like I'm so grateful. This is the best thing in the world. And if I'm having a shitty day and I'm having things go wrong, I'll watch those videos. Like we booked an event the other day and I like just laid on the couch, like smiling, and Molly took her phone out and recorded me. And I was just like, I watched that video. I'm like, that was awesome. That was such a good moment. And why am I so miserable right now?
Well, I think one of the reasons you're so miserable is because you're an elevator. And we like to talk about the fact that it's both a blessing and a curse. And the people that are born with this mindset, many entrepreneurs have this elevator mindset, is we have a really hard time soaking in our successes. And we have a really easy time of needing to do better and elevate more than what we did before. And so that video of you on the couch, JB, of booking your gig, when you have 5 different coffee shops open in a couple years from now, and something bad happens with building out your 6th, you might watch that video and be like, that doesn't move the needle for me anymore. Because we're constantly raising this bar of what makes us feel successful and happy. And that's, I think, the hardest thing for me when it comes to entrepreneurship that I've struggled with the most. Parker and I are literally going on tour, and I don't think it's enough. Like, I don't really care, which is kind of fucked up.
That is messed up. Why don't you care?
Yeah, get fired up.
That's messed up. I'm fired up now. Why don't you care? What do you think? This is another walk in the park?
Parker in the park. I mean, because we're doing it, right? And I think that's this hard reality of entrepreneurship is you look at many of the people around you, and certainly being in the podcast space where we have on all these successful people or following these entrepreneurs that are making more money, that are speaking to bigger crowds, that are doing all this stuff that I wish we were doing. And it makes you go, damn, I want to be at that level. And where I struggle, and I'm just a hand up admitting it, but I'm working on it, is realizing that my journey and my path is going to look very different from everybody else's. Whether I have more success in business or friendship or with my family or personal life, it's all kind of a different journey that I'm on. And realizing and appreciating where I'm at now in this moment, maybe the tour is just a small part of it for me, Parker. Maybe what I'm most proud of is the fact that you and I haven't beat the shit out of each other yet. I'm quite proud of that fact because I still love you and I still want to do this with you.
We had a text message tussle the other day.
God, what was it about? I don't even remember.
No, we had it was a good tussle. It was like a nice like jab back and forth, and then
A little joust.
Yeah. I feel bad for you in the sense that, JB, you don't necessarily have a co-founder. I guess Molly's there to help you along the way, but like at least if I don't want to pick up the slack on something, or I can just say, Sam, you're better at this than me, you should do that, he will take it on. Or we could just talk, brainstorm. What's it like doing it kind of alone?
It's tough. Like, I always have the emotional support of having her around, which is awesome. And like, that's, I think, the biggest piece of it. And like, I struggle with creative stuff. She's a huge help with that. So, but she's holding it down, like her job, like she's great at it. She's putting in all her hours there, which is awesome. Like, she's crushing it. So that's where like, I do feel like I'm on an island sometimes where I spin my wheels. I was lucky to stumble upon this group through Instagram, and this guy helps launch coffee carts, and it's been amazing. Like, just pushing me to make the website, pushing me to work on SEO, like how to build out your SEO, how to do sales calls. Like, I never learned how to sell. So I have a call every Monday and office hours Tuesday, Wednesday, and like, it's okay to use him as a resource and like ask for help, because I would not have been in this place had I not been for him helping. Shout out Johnny Cortado. Yeah. But he's been utmost helpful. And like, one thing that kind of relates back to your point before, it's a great thing. Like, I'm so happy I'm in this group. I needed it. It's tough because a lot of it is comparing yourself to how other carts are doing in your area. Like, there's a ton of competition for this, and it's stressful and aggravating to see them doing so well and like so quickly. But they might have two founders. They have been doing it for years. They've been in the coffee space. They've been in the selling space. I'm so green to all of this, and I just keep comparing myself, even though it's insanely frustrating. And I relate it back to this point. I've been watching a ton of NFL coverage right now because the draft's going on, and like analyzing players and their paths in college and high school and now the pros. Growth is not linear, and my growth certainly hasn't been. Like, I keep relating myself like these athletes. Like, some guys got hurt their sophomore year and tore their ACL and had to sit out, and their measurables went down, their speed went down, but they're gonna, maybe they had All-American senior year and they were the captain of the team. The growth isn't linear. It fluctuates in terms of speed and timing. So you can't compare yourself to other athletes out on the field. And I am not a good athlete anymore. I'm a great athlete. I'm not athletic anymore. But you can't compare yourself to the competition. You can't compare yourself to others. It's not going to get you anywhere.
Yeah.
So why do it?
So JB, I want to talk about carts, golf carts, coffee carts, all the carts. You've learned a lot about carts with a business here. I'm curious, when you are building out this business, does it ever feel like you're playing like Sims or like one of those little restaurant games?
I never played Sims or what was it, Roller Coaster Tycoon?
Yeah, like I kind of feel like
I know what you're talking about. Higher stakes, I'd say.
Yeah, fair enough. Fair
But yeah,
enough.
it feels like I have to do everything surrounding it though. It's like I didn't know I'd have to learn how to put a kegerator together and set up proper nitrogen and like I didn't know that would ever be part of my job description. Like the fact that I blogging is part of my job description and making Excel sheets, like that's comfortable. That's cool with me. But operations, logistics, sales, the tech side of it, the physical blue collar side of it, I should say, like the handiwork. I'm not handy. I have like a callus on my hand. Like there's no there's no working in a wood shop for me. But I'm having to learn how to use it. I have so many wrenches now that I don't even know. I never wrote a wrench.
You're carrying it down for all. I mean, Parker and I, we record on a podcast. We're not handy either. I'm curious though. Give us a little spec overview of the cart. What size are we talking? What's some of the cool? How do you even buy a cart? Did you build a cart? Like, where do you get one?
Yeah, so we did a bunch of research. There's a company out in the West Coast, I think in Yorba Linda, near LA, and they build carts for catering, ice cream, coffee, and found them on Instagram, Ridgecraft Carts. They're amazing. Work with them super closely to build a cart to our specs. 5 feet long, slatted wood, like a black painted on the outside with like a dark wood on top with a 2-tap coffee tower in it. We could put matcha in one, decaf in one, coffee in the other. We fully break it down, throw it in our car. It looks so elite. Like I'm obsessed with it. We have it in our living room right now just because we move it all around. And it looks like a centerpiece. Like it looks awesome. So it's heavy, it's big, but it breaks down fully and it makes my life easier. So my goal is, I think this cold brew we have, we'll get to it, I'm sure, but it is so good. I just got to get it in more mouths, and like this cart is the way to get it in as many mouths as possible.
I love it. I walk through Central Park a lot, as you both know, and there's always, in the very popular areas, I always think of like the battle of, you have the mango lady, you have the person selling the pretzels, you got the person selling the hot dogs, and they're trying to battle for who can sell and who can create, to your point, an experience. Probably going to be more likely to go to the mango lady because I like the mango lady, and mango's better than that pretzel that's probably been sitting there for 3 days. Do you have like a story for us where there was like a standoff possibly with another cart, and what did you do to be able to get people to come to your cart opposed to other people's carts?
I mean, I'm still pretty new to the cart side of it, so I don't have any of those. I had one lost business recently that kind of upset me, and I didn't win it. It was for a minor league baseball team that I grew up rooting for, and they wanted to have a coffee cart in, and I was one of two. I was down to the last two, and I didn't even get a chance to have a call with them. So I was like, like that hurt. So like, I was like so excited about that.
What do you think it was?
The other carts been doing it for a while. They're so good at it. Like I can't knock them. Like they have a really good website. They're the first option in the area. Like I'm not there yet because I'm still so new to it, and like that's part of the way of like fighting through it, and part of the ups and downs is I'm gonna be in those fights someday, and I'm gonna have to win over somebody with an add-on or a sale or me being myself. I think that's a big part of it, but I'm not in that fight yet. Like I know I'm not in that fight yet, and that's something hard to come to terms with because it's frustrating seeing everybody else get sick business and me just toiling along. But I know I'm going to be in that fight one day, and that's a big mental hurdle. That's a big motivator is to get in that fight.
Hell yeah. And the fight is happening. That's big. You're in a space that there is fight, that there is competition, that you know what? You didn't get the minor league baseball team, but you can look at that company. You could say, okay, what can we replicate? What can we know that works, that they're doing really well? And then get into the fight. To your point, like make yourself more competitive in that sense, and screw just minor league baseball.
Yeah.
There are so many places that people drink coffee and need coffee. Corporate events. You can be in Central Park. I don't know. You might have
Bar
to get
mitzvahs.
like what this is.
Don't
Bar
kids
mitzvah.
drink coffee?
Anywhere.
Girls.
Anywhere. Everyone
Weddings,
drinks
brand
coffee.
activations.
Yeah.
any company event.
JB, you look great in a yarmulke. You know that. I think the bar mitzvah space, and I'm like saying this
Covers up
slightly
the whole
kidding.
bald spot.
That part I was joking about. But the reason why I say that is Parker and I never expected us to find our niche and stumble into public speaking at summer camps, mostly Jewish summer camps, to be perfectly honest. But we find ourselves here now going on tour and doing all these camps and making an impact on the exact demographic that looks at us and resonates with us. And so I bring it back to what I was kind of joking with you is like, you may stumble upon a niche that you didn't even realize you had, but it fits with you, it fits with your vibe, it fits with your brand, and you just freaking crush it. And that's how you then can level up to get to the other playing fields that you want to do. I mean, Parker and I joke, like, are we literally going to keep speaking at camps? Is that all we're doing? And like, maybe. I love camp. Camp's fun. But maybe not. Like, maybe this will lead to another thing, and maybe we'll find a new niche, or maybe we'll stay in camp for a while. But I think as you kind of go on your path, and you mentioned this earlier, right? You could have had a totally different life. You could have had a totally different wife if you went to London. But you ended up getting a job in New York City, right? And we all have these paths, and we follow that high frequency that attracts our heart and our soul, and it leads us to where the universe wants us to go. And so I have no doubt in my mind, JB, that the path that you are on is the right one for you, that you will, what will feel like a stumble will actually be the universe pointing you in the right direction to bring your positivity, your high frequency, and your damn good coffee to more people. And speaking of that damn good coffee, let's talk a little coffee here. Let's talk some beans. Let's talk some bean water. Yeah?
Hell yeah.
All right, talk to us about the product, about how you stumbled upon, you were doing cooking before, why coffee is what you ended up specializing in, and what makes your products different than everybody else.
Yeah, like I always liked coffee. I never loved coffee. I was by no means a coffee snob. I had the typical like Starbucks, hot in the winter, cold, make that switch over in spring to cold in the summer. And I was more into food. I cared so much about food, eating at restaurants, reviewing food, making it. So I started making coffee, making cold brew during COVID, just because didn't want to go out to coffee shops, and I was tired of paying $6 per cup in New York City. So I started making my own, started doing it in LA and passing it out to my friends, family, softball team, and they all loved it. And I was like, wow, people are really, like visitors who come to town, they're like, this is like really good. So I started messing around with the types of beans, the origins of them, the washing process, and then I added other ingredients. I use some chicory, some other cinnamons, some other weird flavors you wouldn't think of, just to see if it would play. A lot of them didn't work, but my notebook here is just chock full of like mad recipes, and like we put some pictures in there too from some Polaroids, which I think is fun to look back on. But it's a lot of testing, a lot of different processes, durations of times, temperatures, and moved back to Jersey City. And a friend of mine was, shout out Lonnie Geller, was doing an apprenticeship at the local butcher shop in town. Do great sandwiches, Dark Pine, shout out them too. And I brought coffee for my friend Lonnie and some extra for the people working there. And he was like, come pitch it. I was like, what do you mean come pitch it? I was like, I don't know how to pitch. I work in finance, like internal finance. So I go back, I tell him about the coffee, the origin, and I said like, oh, it's full bodied. It drinks more like a Cabernet. It's smooth. It's got a velvety mouthfeel. It just tastes so much better than everything else in the market. And I think it resonated because it's good quality ingredients. It's made with that good positive energy, but it's super high quality. It tastes like nothing else out there. It is so different. It just tastes so much better. And you feel so much better after. There's some other ingredients that have some extra health benefits I can get into another time because it's really geeking out. But it just tastes so much better than anything else on the market and so much more different than anything else.
Hearing you talk through that makes me just feel even more positive that you're in the right place, doing the right thing, spending your time doing what is your why. And I tinker with this a lot too. The idea that like there's a difference between being cocky and being confident and just like caring so much about something. Like this is something I've always thought about, is like, am I being cocky saying that I'm good on a stage? Am I being cocky saying we've done 490 podcasts? Am I being cocky saying that we are good at helping people open up and think about their life a little bit differently? Or is it just something that I feel like I'm good at and owning it and I'm confident in that ability? And I think through all the conversations we've had, especially with entrepreneurs through the years, it is certainly not cockiness or arrogance. It's belief. Because if you don't believe in it, nobody will. And I just commend you so much in how you're showing your passion, obviously through only a 40-minute conversation here, but it's just really cool. I want to buy coffee from you simply from your passion. I could care less about the taste up to this point because I haven't tasted it yet. But you've sold me because I like you, just the way that you're putting time and effort and energy into crafting this thing. I guarantee it's going to be great, and it's going to be unique and special. And I implore you, I hope you continue to lead with that, because that is at the core of what the brand is all about. And so JB, just like appreciate the authenticity and the realness on the podcast. We do have another section called Rapid Fire. We're going to throw some fast questions your way. I feel like you're going to be good at this. I feel like this is like right up your alley. And first thing that comes to mind, you gotta help us out. Okay. So what is the craziest thing you've tested in your coffee, that isn't coffee beans?
At one point early on, I crushed up a bunch of different types of cookies and threw them in there and see what that would do. That was pretty obscure.
What is this, like a little sugar? It adds a little sugar element
it was like
to it?
Oreos. It was like peanut butter cookies. It was like Thin Mints. I just like blended them all up. I was like, fuck it. Can't taste bad. It was bad. Really, really sweet. We tried.
All right. Maybe I'll ask this question to John. So, John, what is one specific part of your past finance identity that you're so grateful you got to kill off as you became JB with High Frequency?
It's got to be just being myself. Like I always felt like I had to be an imposter, and I feel like I get to like shed that skin a little bit, and it comes back. Like if I'm on a call and it's like something relatively professional, I'm still like tight. I'm not myself, and like sometimes Maya will be like, "Hey, like loosen up a little bit. We'll take calls together." She'll mute, be like, "Relax, take a second," because I get freaked out and antsy to be so professional. That's just not what people want to talk to.
Love it. Here's a fun one. This is going to bring this whole conversation together, and I think it's a question that you know very well. JB, what's your why?
There's another quote I'm going to go back to here, and I have it written down on my phone. I wasn't going to bring it up today, but it's in my phone from like 2020 or something. I don't know who it's attributed to. You can find it on Google, I'm sure. But it was, if you are struggling, make someone else smile. And that's that I like think back to that all the time. It's tough. Times get tough, but the best way to cheer yourself up is really to get someone else to smile. So when I get someone to laugh on a sales call, or I get someone to taste the coffee for the first time and be like, "Oh, that was really good. That's delicious." Like seeing them smile is kind of what keeps me going.
All right, one more rapid fire for you, JB. We're talking origin of beans here. What is the favorite place that you like to get your beans from? And can you describe, you did a beautiful job of talking about a velvety mouthfeel and Cabernet-like drinking experience. I'd like to get a little bit more of that frequency and energy my way. So please describe that for me as well.
So I get my beans from a roaster out in LA called City Bean Roasters, and they get these Guatemalan beans from Huehuetenango, which I love saying. Yeah, that sounds good, right? It's high elevation coffee, washed beans. They have like notes of like that chocolate and cherry naturally too, like a little bit of cereal notes. Tie that in with the chicory and the other spices added. It's just all comes full circle. There's subtle tasting notes. There's notes that will punch you in the face. It's just a super delicate balance that it's taken a while to work on. But beans matter. Always get organic, fair trade. If you could trace your beans back to the farm when you're buying it, that's all the better. The more info you have on the beans, the better. So if you're looking to buy beans, I feel like I consult with people all the time on what kind of beans to get. Find your favorite coffee shop. Go to your favorite coffee roaster and just ask questions. Ask to do a pour over sample. Ask them to pull an espresso shot of your favorite bean so you can replicate it and know those flavor balances at home. So talk to people. Like, that's what they're there for. They're experts. They're super knowledgeable. That's if you don't have a favorite coffee place or favorite coffee bean or favorite roastery, ask someone. Ask a friend.
JB, we found out that you have some rapid fire questions for us. I
I prepped.
You prepped. All right, let's hear what you got.
All right. So a few years ago, they tested out the presidential text service where you could text every single person in the country who has a phone. What would you guys send on that text if you had one text to send out to the entire population?
Sam's gonna be like so serious, like.
No, mine was going to be touch some grass.
Touch some grass. Ah, that's good.
Yeah, people don't touch enough grass. Go get some nature. Go get some
Yeah, go for a walk. Honestly, no. I read a statistic. It was like about half people don't go for at least 15 minutes of walk every day. 50% of people do not go for at least a 15-minute walk every single day. That blew my freaking mind. And then it went into this whole story about how in Japan it's so ingrained in their culture. And a lot of people don't go on walks, particularly in the United States, because they don't have the access to places to walk. In Japan, their culture, their society is built around parks and the idea that people walk. And you know what? It works because people are happier and they live longer there. And so, yeah, I'm with you, Sam. Go for a walk.
Did you ever watch that Blue Zone show on Netflix? Yeah.
100%.
Along those lines.
Hey, no. Walk. Go walk. Touch some grass. Eat some grass. Do whatever you got to do. Get back to nature, man.
Can you imagine if you got everyone in the whole world got a text message that said, eat some grass, dude? Hospitals been having issues. We'd have some problems, man. Yeah, Sam, we're not giving you access.
All right, fine. What else you got for us, JB?
What's one thing that in general you think deserves more recognition?
Love that one. I was going to say I think people are trying their best almost always. And I think a lot of times we think people aren't, or they're trying to spite us, or they're being lazy, or they did this or that. I think for the most part, people are trying. People are tired. People are sad. People are stressed. They don't have the right coping mechanisms. And certainly not an excuse, but I think people are trying. People want to be a good person. You don't want to be a shitty person. And so trying to just empathize with people and give them the tools and resources to come back to what made them human and what made us all love and connect and be happy in the first place, I think is something that is not recognized enough. So some high frequency for you.
Yeah, that's a great one. All right, I got two more. What's your favorite part of your morning routine?
Go ahead. Parker's the new morning routine guy.
I was gonna say Sam's got like 70 things in his routine. I was like, my favorite part in my routine is without a doubt sipping that first sip of coffee. Like, it is the best. It's because I had just gone through. I go to the gym. I wake up early. I do my sauna, my meditation. That's all great. But there's something that I always come back to, and it's the appreciation for that same thing that I have every day. Think about that. I still appreciate the thing that I have every day, and then that's first sip of coffee. And it's just always very satisfying to me.
It's a ritual, not a routine. It's something that's sacred.
That's a good point. That's a really good point right there.
Well, JB, I'm so glad you asked about truly probably my favorite part of my day and life, which is maybe something that I need to talk about with someone. I love morning routines. Wake up, go to the boxing gym, get an hour workout in, spar, box, do my thing, come back, shower, take all my pills, cold shower. I write on I have a whiteboard in my bathroom, my word of the day from yesterday. If I did something to validate my life, validate my body, validate my soul, do a little check mark. But that's not answering your question. My favorite part of the day, give you a little sneak peek. I have a little altar over here that I have a meditation cushion on and a little salt lamp, and I light some Palo Santo, or I put on some eucalyptus oil on my little diffuser, and I meditate for 10 minutes.
That's
and
awesome.
It's so peaceful. And I love starting my day like that. It's a beautiful way to start the day.
The best American rock band of our generation.
Easy. Actually, of our generation,
American rock, I'd say like since like 2000, 2005, since then.
I have my answer. Greta
That like
Van
came
Fleet.
up.
I love Greta Van Fleet. Like, that dude's got pipes that, like, I don't even know how you sing that loud. Like, he doesn't even need a microphone. He's a mega horn.
I love Greta Van Fleet. I wouldn't say they're on the same level as Foo Fighters.
Is that our generation?
Yes, that's from 2000. Yeah. I mean, they have a lot of early...
Yeah.
You
No,
were
but, like,
5.
they've...
You were 5.
Foo Fighters is, like... I see what you're saying. A lot of their music came out in the late 90s, early 2000s, but, like, I feel like I grew up with them in a sense.
All right. I'll give it to you. Fine.
Dude, I can never not, like, if a Foo Fighters song comes on, I'm jamming every time. I'm singing. And, like, when I go to their concerts, I'm bawling my eyes out because it's just like, this dude is awesome. What about you, JV? What do you think?
Green Day. All American Rejects. The Killers.
Killers.
I feel like that's kind of like my 3. It's one of my favorite bar questions. Like, I'll just, if the conversation's dull, I'll just ask this one because everyone's got a take. Everyone's got preferences.
And if
But-
they don't have a take, I don't want to be friends with you. Because if you don't
Yeah.
like rock music, classic rock, modern rock, whatever, and you just listen to pop, if you come back and say, like, Justin Bieber, who I love, by the way, but you got to diversify your music taste.
Gotta go to Bruce concerts.
This is where I get controversial.
JB.
And Jay, this is... Yeah, I was at Bruce last week, actually.
That's why he said that. He's a
I
loyal
know.
listener.
Yeah, or he knew that, he got shit on by the local newspaper.
I love Bruce.
I think the greatest band of all time, though, is the Grateful Dead. And I will stand by that for all time.
JB, those were great rapid fires. Thank you for
Thank you.
inviting us to share a little bit more on the podcast.
All right, JB, it's been fun, 45 minutes into this thing, but we got one more question for you. We ask every single person who joins Elevation Nation one question, whether it's on the podcast or when we elevate with you in a room. We want to know, what is your mental motto, the phrase, the quote, the slogan that you lead your life by?
I thought about going something business related here, but I was like, there's one quote, a loose quote I give at every toast, every speech. I repeat to myself like a personal mantra. And I think Meadow from Sopranos said something like it in the Sopranos, and she said something along the lines of, you can't max out on doing what you love with who you love. Surround yourself with good people. Do what you love. Chase those dreams. You can't get enough of that in life, and you can't run out of it. Just keep chasing that high of doing what you love with who you love.
And we certainly chase that high frequency today. JB, so long overdue, and I'm so grateful that we've reconnected. You were always such a ray of sunshine and positivity in my life, and very influenced time in my life in college. And so thank you for spreading your high frequency to me, to Parker, now to Elevation Nation, and everyone who is able to try high-frequency coffee. We are so honored to welcome you into Elevation Nation. Keep doing what you do.
Thank you, fellas. I really appreciate you having me on. This was awesome. Great connecting to you guys. This was awesome. I'm pumped.
I guess we one-upped your podcast with Spectre. But yeah,